Hi students, we are looking at the Unit 2 circuit theorems of electrical circuit theory for diploma students of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so this is the syllabus for circuit theorem, Massey equations, nodal equations, star delta transformation, superposition theorem, Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem, maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, right, problems in DC circuits only. Okay, the reference book also given in the description. Okay, if you want to purchase, you can purchase from the link given in the description. Okay, I advise you to practice problems on that test book. Okay, that is not your reference, that is your test book. Okay, uh, is it test book or reference? Let me see. I will tell you right now. See, this is the syllabus. Okay, yeah, this is your reference book, circuit networks and analysis and synthesis. Okay, uh, this book you can purchase from the link given in the description. Okay, this is the reference book, but I suggest you to follow this book only. Okay, it's better to solve problems in this book. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can always ask me in the comments. I also have this book. Okay, right, let's begin our uh, network theorems session. Okay, right, where is it? Okay, okay, we just moved from there. Is it? Okay. Okay, let's go to the introduction part. In Unit 1, we analyzed various types of circuits using Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's laws. Some circuits are difficult to solve using only basic laws and require additional methods in order to simplify the analysis. In this unit, we shall understand a variety of techniques such as mesh current analysis, nodal analysis, the superposition theorem, Thevenin's theorem, and Norton's theorem, which will speed up the analysis for more complicated networks. The theorems and conversions make analysis easier for certain types of circuit. These methods do not replace Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's laws, but they are normally used in conjunction with the laws in certain situations. This is right. You shouldn't neglect Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's laws. These are basic laws. Okay, and we'll be using these laws forever. Okay, in the circuit analysis. Okay. Electric circuit theorems are always beneficial to find voltage and currents in multi-loop circuits. These theorems are fundamental rules or formula and basic equations of mathematics to analyze basic components of electrical and or electronic parameters such as voltages, currents, resistance, and so on. These fundamental theorems include the basic theorems like superposition, Thevenin's and Norton's theorem, and maximum power transfer theorem. Not all loads are connected in series or in parallel. There are sort of series parallel combinations also. Okay, there are two other arrangements known as star and delta. They are not so common, but because they are interchangeable, we can readily find a solution to any network in which they appear, so long as we can transform the one into the other. Okay, because all electric circuits are driven by either voltage source or current sources, it is important to understand how to work with these elements. Source conversion technique are also useful to get the solution easily. The superposition theorem will help you to deal with the circuits that have multiple sources. Superposition theorem is used only in linear networks. This theorem is used in both AC and DC circuits, wherein it helps to construct Thevenin's and Norton's equivalent. Thevenin's and Norton's theorems provide methods for reducing a circuit to a simple equivalent form for each of analysis. Okay, this theorem can be applied to both linear and bilateral networks. The maximum power transfer theorem is used in applications where it is important for a given circuit to provide maximum power to the load. Let's see the terms which we use quite often. Network element, any individual element which can be connected to some other element is called network element. Active element, these are the elements which can deliver electrical energy. Okay, active source, voltage source or current source are the example. Passive elements, these are elements which consume electrical energy either by absorbing or storing it. Simple examples are resistor, inductor, and capacitor. Electric network, interconnection of elements like resistor or inductor or capacitor or electrical energy source are known as electric network. Okay, network may be closed, may be open. Okay, if a network has at least one closed path, it is called circuit. Okay, closed energized network is known as circuit. Node or junction in a network, a point at which two or more elements are joined together is called node. Simple node means a node where a node where only two elements are joined is called simple node. Principal node, a node where three or more elements are joined is called principal node. Branch of a network, a branch is a path that connects two nodes. Loop in a network, a closed path obtained by starting at a node and returning back to the same node through a set of connected circuit elements. Okay, wherever you started, if you end there only, then it becomes loop. Then what is mesh? A loop that does not contain any other loops in it, that is a mesh. Okay, you can also call it as independent loop. Sometimes people call it as independent loop. That is also correct. Indi Independent loop, right? So mesh is also called as independent loop. Okay, let it be here only. Active network versus passive network. A network which contains a source of energy is called active network. A network which contains no source of energy is called passive. Examples, voltage source and current source for active, and this is RLC for passive. Unilateral versus bilateral. It is a circuit whose properties or characteristics change with the direction of its operation. That is called unilateral. Direction of the current flow. Okay, that is unilateral circuit. A diode rectifier, which is a unilateral circuit, which allows current only in one direction. Okay, right. Bilateral circuit is one whose properties or characteristics are the same in either direction. Precisely speaking, either direction of current flow. The usual transmission line is bilateral because it can be made to perform its function equally well in either direction. RLC also bilateral elements. Okay, resistor, inductor, and capacitor. Linear circuit versus non-linear circuit. But this is circuit, that's why this is the example, right? A circuit or network whose parameters or elements like resistance, inductance, and capacitance are always constant irrespective of change in time, voltage, and temperature is known as linear network. What is non-linear then? A circuit whose parameters change their values with change in time, temperature, voltage, current is known as non-linear network. The Ohm's law can be applied to such network. Linear circuits only you can apply Ohm's law. Such network follow the law of superposition. The Ohm's law may not be applied to such network. Such network does not follow the law of superposition. We will be dealing with the law of superposition later in this part only, in this unit only. Okay. Ideal voltage source, a voltage source which maintains a constant potential difference at a given magnitude and prescribed waveform across its terminals independent of the current. When this terminal voltage is independent of the current flowing in the across, this is the terminal voltage across the terminals of the battery or the source. If it is independent of the current drawn from the source, then it is called ideal. If you draw the voltage current characteristic, it is always constant, then this source is ideal. In other words, it has no internal impedance or resistance. Okay, resistance in case of DC, impedance in case of AC, so that the voltage drop is always zero. Then when the internal resistance RS is zero, then this is called ideal voltage source. What about the practical voltage source? Practical voltage source has some internal resistance as shown in this circuit. Okay, whenever the current is zero, then this voltage across its terminals is Vs. Okay, when the current is flowing, the voltage drops according to the current flow, and it is maximum when the current is maximum, minimum when the current is minimum. Okay, that is zero and the current is, sorry, uh, yes, internal resistance drop is zero when the current is zero. So the practical voltage source is like this: when the current is increasing, it drops linearly with respect to the current. Okay, so the terminal voltage is not constant because of the internal voltage drop. So practically every voltage source has some internal resistance in series with the voltage source, and it is represented by RSC as in the diagram we have already seen. In the source, the voltage cannot remain constant but falls slightly with the addition of load. What is ideal current source? Ideal current source is one which maintains the current of given magnitude and independent of its terminal voltage across it. Okay. Right. Symbolically, we represent general current source as a two-terminal device as shown in figure. Characteristics of ideal current source, whatever may be the voltage across it, it is independent. If you draw the current voltage characteristic, it is a constant, straight line. Okay, that means it has infinite resistance. Okay, across its terminals, it is capable of supplying infinite power. But what about practical current source? Practically, every current source has high internal resistance in parallel with the current source, and it is represented by RSH. There it is RSC, here it is RSH. Why? Because there the resistance is in series with the source. Here the resistance is in parallel with the source. Shunt resistance to RSH. So this is shown in the figure. In practical current source, the current does not remain constant but falls slightly uh, 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 with respect to the load current. Okay. So if you draw IL, sorry, with respect to the terminal voltage, load voltage or terminal voltage, VL, this is drooping. IL is always less than IS. When the load resistance is zero, when the load resistance is zero, VL is zero. When VL is zero, IL is nothing but IS, right? This current is nothing but IS. Okay. Mhm. So when VL is zero, VL zero means not open circuit. It is raised RL zero. When RL is zero, VL is zero, right? So IL is nothing but IS. It won't flow in. There will not be any flow of current here, right? You can check that IL becomes IS when RL is zero. That is VL is zero. When RL is not zero, okay, that is when VL is not zero. When the VL increases, this current drops. Okay, right. Loading of sources. The output voltage of a voltage source decreases as the load current increases. If the source is loaded in such a way that the output voltage falls below a specified full load value, then the source is said to be loaded, and the situation is known as loading of source. What is source transformation? You can transform a voltage source into a current source or a current source into a voltage source. That is known as source transformation. That makes calculation easier, the circuit analysis easier. Ideal voltage source to be converted into ideal current source like this. Then the voltage source with their internal resistance R can be converted into a current source with the internal resistance R, where the current value is nothing but V upon R. Okay. So this is how you will transform voltage source to a current source. The resistance becomes parallel, okay, and the current becomes voltage upon the resistance, okay. How to convert ideal current source to a voltage source? When I is the current, R is the resistance, then the voltage uh, value is nothing but I into R, and the series resistance value is nothing but R. Okay, that they forgot to mention. Okay, let me mention the value is R. Okay, what is the example? Okay, this is the voltage source in series with the resistance. Now you can convert this to current source. How to convert? 12 by 6, 2 ampere is the current. 6 ohms will be connected in parallel. Okay, now we converted voltage to current. Mesh equations. This is very useful method to solve multi-loop circuit problems. Okay, this method also called mesh current analysis. In this method, we consider loop or mesh current instead of branch current. We have seen the branch current method earlier. Okay, that takes plenty of time, but mesh method is very simpler to use, and it takes very less time to solve multi-loop networks. Okay, for each loop the equation is written based on Kirchhoff's voltage law, and there are many equations as the number of loops. When there are three loops, three meshes, you will be having uh, three equations. The current directions are chosen arbitrarily. Okay, always we take by convention we take into a clockwise direction of the current, but it is your wish. Okay, but you must be consistent with the current direction to frame the equations. Okay, but that is why it is advisable to take only one side, one direction for the current flow. Okay, see the procedure. Circulating currents are allocated to closed loops or meshes in the circuit like this. An equation for each loop of the circuit is obtained by Kirchhoff's voltage law. Branch currents can be found out. Okay, they are nothing but algebraic sums or difference of loop currents or the mesh currents. These are also called as mesh currents. See, these loops are independent, there are no other loops in it, right? If you take a loop like this, then this is not independent loop, that is not a mesh. This is actually mesh current analysis. Okay, this is loop 1, loop 2, loop 3. These three are independent loops, are nothing but meshes. Okay, I1, I2, I3 are taken as clockwise currents, I1, I2, I3 in these loops or meshes. Apply KVL in the ABCD. How to apply KVL you already know, right? I1 R1 plus I1 into, see this current. There is something here you need to know. What is that? I'm going to tell that. Okay, don't hurry. Okay, see, this current is I1, this current is I2, right? Sorry, that's my mistake. Fine, see the current direction, I2 is upwards, I1 is downwards. What is the loop direction? We are going from B to C, downward direction. So I1 is taken as positive, I2 is taken as negative. That makes sense, right? Since the current directions are not similar, this becomes I1 minus I2. So the current flowing in the BC becomes I1 minus I2. So I1 minus I2 into R2 minus E equal to 0, minus E1 equal to 0, or otherwise E1 equal to this. Okay. Alright, coming to the loop 2, we will follow the similar analysis. Okay, you need not to indicate every time the current directions, right? See, BHC is the loop we consider or the mesh we consider. Apply KVL. The current is I2 here, I2 into R3. Is that correct? Yes, I2 into R3. I2 minus I3 into R4. Okay, see, we are going in the loop direction. I2 is positive, I3 is coming in the other direction. So I2 minus I3 into R4. Okay, here this becomes I2 minus I1 because the loop direction is same as the direction of current, mesh current I2. So I2, this is against, coming against the loop. So I2 minus I1 into R2 equal to 0. Okay, like I said earlier, I2 R3, I2 minus I3 into R4, I2 minus I1 into R2. Now you can simplify this to get this equation. Okay, that you already know how to do. Coming to the loop 3, what is the loop? Let's establish the loop direction EFGH. Okay, EFGH, I3 into R5 from E to F plus E2, because the loop direction when you traverse positive terminal of the battery is encountered first, so that's why plus E2. What about here? Here I3 minus I2 into R4. Okay, because I3 direction and the loop direction are same. So I3 minus I2 into R4 equal to 0. We started here and we ended it here. So this is where you have to end, equal to 0. Or otherwise, if you transfer E2 to the other side, that becomes plus E2. Okay. What is it? I3 R5. Yeah, no, not plus E2, minus E2. This side it is plus, that side that becomes minus. Okay, so three equations you got on simplification, and three unknowns are there. You can use any method. Here they are using maybe Cramer's method. Whatever the method you use, you can find the solution, right? You can also use inversion method to solve this. Okay, whichever you studied in the engineering mathematics 1. Okay, those methods also you can apply. Let's see the problem here. Okay, this is solution by inspection method. They did the solution by inspection method. Okay, or otherwise you can also do this analysis, no problem. That means write KVL in this loop, write KVL in this loop. What is KVL here? I1 into 1 plus 18 into I1 minus I2 equal to 10. Okay, So 1I1 plus 18I1 equal to 19I1. So this is 19. This is minus 18. Okay, equal to 10. What about here? Apply KVL again. From here 2I2 plus 20 plus 18 into I2 minus I1. Right. So minus 18I1. Okay, plus 18 plus 2 20I2 equal to minus 20. Okay, positive here. Right. That's it. You establish find delta delta 1 delta 2. Delta 1 by delta equal to I1, delta 2 by delta equal to I2. Okay, right. Find the current through 4 ohm load resistor using current analysis, mesh current analysis. Okay, take I1, I2, I3, 3 loops or 3 meshes. Okay, what is the current flowing through the 4 ohm? That is nothing but I2 minus I3 in this direction, downward direction. Okay, fine. Again you apply KVL, the method is same, right? Already you discussed the method, we discussed the method. This is the method, right? Follow the same method, find the 3 equations and solve those 3 equations, you can get the unknowns. Okay, once you establish the unknowns, once you found out the unknowns, I2 minus I3 is the current. Okay, I3 is 0.5 ampere, that is I2. I2, 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 I2. Why he found only I3? 4 ohm resistor. Oh, 4 ohm resistor means there are 2 4 ohm resistors. 4 ohm load resistor. 4 ohm load resistor is simply I3. Sorry, there are 2 4 ohm resistors. That was the confusion. But he mentioned load resistor, so that is I3. So I3 is 0.5. That is the answer. See, by mesh current, even though the number of sources are more, the method is going to be same. Okay. Apply the method. Find I1, I2, I3. You need to find the current through 5 ohm. 5 ohm is I1. Current through 4 ohm. 4 ohm is I2. 8 ohm. 8 ohm is I3. That's it. I1, I2, I3 is the answer. Okay. Right. Find the current through 10 ohm load resistor using mesh current analysis. Okay. Take loops like this. Independent loops I1, I2, I3. Right. 10 ohm 10 ohm load resistor. This is 10 ohm load resistor. The current is nothing but I1 minus I2 downward direction. Okay. Right. Again apply this method. Find I1, I2, I3. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I1 minus I2 is the final current. Okay. Anyway, don't worry much. We will be solving the exercise problems. No problem. Okay. But but what we will be solving exercise. No problem. Okay. Let's finish the theory part first. Nodal analysis. This method of circuit solution known as nodal voltage method is based on the application of Kirchhoff current law at each junction of the circuit. To find the node voltages, what is the procedure? Select one node as reference. Usually select the ground node as reference, the bottom node as reference. Assign voltages to the remaining n minus 1 nodes. If there are n nodes, remaining n minus 1 nodes, you have to assign the voltages. See, in this example, how many nodes are there? 1, 2, 3 nodes are there. Okay, assign these are the principal nodes. Okay, so assign voltages here, v1 here, v2 here. This is 0 reference node. We are measuring voltage with respect to the reference node, that's why it is grounded. So this voltage is 0. Apply KVL to each of the n minus 1 reference node, not KVL, KCL. N minus 1 non-reference nodes. Use Ohm's law to express the branch currents in terms of node voltages. Okay, you got the point. That means this is the branch current. Let's say IA, IB, IC. Apply KCL here. IA is incoming current. IC also incoming current. So IB equal to IA plus IC. What is IA? VA minus V1 by RA. IB V1 by RB. What is IC? Sorry, IC is V2 minus V1 by RC. That's it. VA minus V1 by IA plus IC equal to IB. Okay. Then simplify this. Okay, by taking V1 common, V2 common. Okay, you will get one equation. Applying KCL at node 2. This is node 2, right? again KCL, what KCL says, incoming currents equal to outgoing currents, IE equal to IC plus ID. What is IE? This potential minus this potential by resistance. This potential is VB, this is V2 with respect to ground 3, with respect to node 3. So VB minus V2 by RE equal to V2 minus V1 by RC plus V2 by RD. So you will get one more equation there. Okay, that is this equation. Okay, now solve these two equations to find the unknowns. Okay, v1 and v2. There are two equations, two unknowns. Use any method, either matrix method or elimination method, variable elimination method, whatever the method you use. Find the solution. For nodal analysis, the number of equations required to solve a network is less than what we require in other methods. Okay, the same circuit, mesh analysis take three equations to be solved, I1, I2, I3. But in nodal analysis, you only need to solve two equations. Okay. Okay. Number of nodes are 3, 1, 2, 3 principal nodes. Number of equations are going to be 3 minus 1, 2. Okay. You need to find current IA, this current IC, this current. First find V1 and V2. You can express IA, IC in terms of V1 and V2. Okay, you got the point. Okay, they directly wrote the solution like this. What I suggest you is that follow the method which was mentioned earlier. Get the two equations and solve those two equations in any method, either Cramer's rule, okay, or equation elimination, variables elimination method, whatever it may be. Again, see here, same similar problem, right? No difference here also, right? Okay, we'll stop it here. We will continue from this superposition theorem in the next session. Okay. Uh, like I said earlier, you practice problems in the book, reference book. Okay. Circuits and Networks by Sudhakar and Shyam Mohan. Okay. Uh, if you want to buy, that is there in the description. The link is given in the description. You can just click on the link. Okay, and buy that textbook. Okay. So you practice that problems, and if you have any encountered any doubt, you can always ask me in the comment section. If you like this video, please if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Okay, nandri vanakkam. See how beautiful this nature is. You also start planting the trees. Let us bring a new change in our society. Let us plant the trees and let others plant the trees. Let's take this pledge seriously from now. Thank you.